Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the brand new MT special offer players that dropped today here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM and whether or not they are worth spending your MT on to add to your squad. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's discuss. So, I actually think this week's MT special offers are pretty good. I'm not going to lie, or at least the Dark Matter is. Obviously, Bull was the VC special offer player. Do not buy any of this stuff with VC, please. But Ralph Sampson's kind of interesting. OPAL SGA for 99,000 MT doesn't make sense for anybody to buy, especially if you played last season, because if you played last season, you probably have level 40 SGA, who's better than this card, for free. So, like this... even if you don't have that SGA, with the amount of free point guards they've dropped in the last couple seasons, if you've played the game a solid amount at all, you should have plenty of point guard options that are better than that OPAL SGA at this point, considering his SIGs are not as elite, and just overall, he's not as good of a card. So, would not buy him. I think that one's kind of a no-brainer. We don't really have to talk about him anymore. Ralph Sampson, on the other hand, is actually a pretty interesting card, though, because he's 7'4". That's the main value of Ralph Sampson as a card. Now, I will say, I did gameplay with him, and I was not exceedingly impressed with the card when I did use him, which was admittedly a while ago. But what he does provide you with is elite level size, and that is something that has a lot of value. 7'4" at the center position, 99 offense and defense. I mean, this card he's able to hit a wide open 77 3 ball. He's not an elite level shooter. Release is very mediocre. It's Wilt Chamberlain type release. I'll go on 2KDB and look at his animations in a second. But 95 free throw, 95 standing, and 90 driving dunk. He can hit a mid range. He's a great dunker, great post player. Not a ball handler, but he is a versatile, really good defender. And then really solid rebounder. 83 speed is basically 91 with a coach in a shoe, which is not bad, especially at 7'4". 87 lateral quickness, not bad either. Like, as a whole, card looks good. Now, only 4 gold badges isn't ideal, but 40 Hoffs is nice, and it's a ton of defense for sure. Like, when you look at the card, yes, he's missing some stuff in terms of fast twitch, agent 3 blinders, that's 3, Deadeye 4, limitless range 5, slippery off ball 6, ankle braces, challenger clamps, gloves 7, 8, 9, 10, open looks 11, spot finder 12, blow by, speed booster 13, 14, fast feet, right stick gripper 94 feet. Overall, he's missing probably 15 plus badges that you'd like to add to him, and he only has, what, 8 badge slots, so you're going to be limited in terms of what you can add to this card to a certain extent, and you're definitely going to want to add things, a couple shooting badges and things like clamps on the perimeter to upgrade him if you want to use him. With that being said, you can't teach 7'4", and if you don't have Wembanyama, if you don't have Big Z, if you don't have Dikembe Mutombo, if you don't have Yao Ming, if you don't have centers that can counter that level of size, this Ralph Sampson is a really solid card. Now, I will point out, we got a free Galaxy Opal Roy Hibbert yesterday, who I think is just as good as Ralph Sampson. In fact, I think they're actually very similar cards in terms of what they give you on the court. So that free Roy Hibbert that came out a couple days ago is probably just as good. The thing about this card at the end of the day is that his jump shot is not that elite. If you look at his animations, DeAndre Jordan base default big up around very quick. Not ideal. SIGs aren't great either, and he doesn't have a ball handle rating that's high anyway, so you can't timing burst with him. But the DeAndre Jordan base is not good. Default big upper also not very good. Like, the release is not a good release. It is not ungreenable. When he's wide open, you should hit, but that is the thing, is he's an inside big, and he's a good inside big, but he's not an unbelievably insane inside big by any means. I mean, I think Hibbert for free is just as good. I think Big Z is better. I think Wemby is better. I think there's several gambling centers that are better. Then I think Dikembe for free is obviously better. Dikembe for free is the best free big in the game still. I don't see... I think that for a lot of teams, you already probably have bigs that are good enough where you don't need this Ralph Sampson, because I think he's kind of towards the lower end when it comes to these elite level bigs, like back half of the top 10 of sorts, maybe even not in the top 10 when it comes to the center position. Although he is close, and again, at 7'4", you can't teach size. So if you don't have size in your lineup and you have 200,000 MT and you want to add somebody with some size, even if it is to your last 3, just so you have more of a counter for the Yao, Wemby, Big Z type guys who are just giants, I think Ralph Sampson gives you that ability, and does so with a card that, if he's badged out with a couple of extra defensive and shooting badges, you get yourself a lot of versatility at the center position with what he can do size-wise. Now, is he worth 199,000 MT? I don't know. If you have I mean, it really only if you need a center is he worth that, because I mean, I would say at this point packs are really bad and definitely not worth opening at all. But I mean, locking in sets with MT each week, 200k MT is pretty much half a set, assuming you do the deluxe pack and get one of the cards for free in the set. Like, that's pretty much locking in half a set for a new dark matter or higher player from like this weekend set, which we'll see. I don't know yet who we're gonna get, but with your MT, I think there might be better uses for it. If you're close to locking in a set, I would say at this point your bet is probably, you have a better bet locking in a set like last week's Regal set, for example, where every card except for Ray Allen is absolutely exceptional, and even Ray isn't awful, although Ray Allen would be a disappointing one. I'm sure tomorrow's set's going to kind of be the same way. A lot of good options. Last week's set, besides Levine, was a super solid option as well. Like, these sets, admittedly, there does always seem to be that one card that you don't really want to get, but as a whole, you do have a decent chance of getting cards that you want on a pretty consistent basis, I feel like, with these drops. And for me personally, I think this might be your better target for what you want to do with your MT. I just think, I don't know, it's not awful. This is one of the more like intriguing special offers they've dropped so far, but I certainly don't think that Ralph Sampson is by any means some elite level top tier card in my team at this point in the year, just because there are so many tall bigs who give you very similar things to what he does, who you may already have in your lineup, including, like I said, multiple free guys. Dikembe, who's significantly better, and then Roy Hibbert, who pretty much gives you the same thing and is currently available for free. 25 blocks in a game will get you that card. When you can get a card that I think does about the exact same thing for free versus 199,000 MT, I mean, for me personally, that definitely always leans me towards getting that free card, especially when it's not an absurdly hard grind by any means to get that card. So, as a whole, it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. It's at least a semi-interesting one. But you know what I'd love to see? Give me a Kristaps Porzingis here in the pack market for 199k. Give me, like, if you're gonna drop, like, come on, it's June. It's almost July. Like, seriously, let's start dropping some desirable cards in here for MT, please. I mean, I will say one thing. We're kind of due for 2K to start trying to bait people back in for next year. So I'm kind of surprised to a certain extent that these offers are continuing to be kind of mid. Like, I think at some point we're going to start getting some good stuff because they want to suck people in for next year. But at this point, I don't even know what next year's going to look like. Like, I would not be surprised to see the MyTEAM mode completely change as a whole. That's a topic for another video, though. I feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point. So, yeah, again, like I said, in conclusion, Ralph Sampson, not awful. If you need size, go for it. Otherwise, probably would stay away from this offer and save your MT. And as y'all can see, I don't have any MT really, because I still have not been really playing the game. And at this point, doesn't look like I'm going to be opening packs tomorrow or anything like that, because I don't have the MT to do it. And that is all right with me, because packs are terrible anyway. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.